What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sharp Sports Media. The NBA draft coming up tomorrow on Thursday. And now, my Brooklyn Nets, they do not have any draft picks. But we weren't going to leave you hanging with no draft coverage here. We had to get a little mock draft, but we called a little bit of help with us. We got Andrew Ault. You might know him from Moonshots and Meatballs, our podcast here on Sharp Sports Media. And then we got draft expert Blake King here to help us along. So we're going to do a top 20 mock draft for you guys. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Hoping the Pacers get a star tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Hopefully, first of many appearances here on the Josh Sharf sports media page, and I'm here to beat you guys in this mock draft. I'm going to get the most right picks, and I'm just going to apologize now for beating you too bad.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. The plan is we're gonna have Blake start with the first, or no, Andrew. Excuse me. Andrew's gonna start with the first pick. I'll do second. Blake will do third, and we'll just rotate from there on. And now we are doing what we think is going to happen draft. We'll give our opinions on what we would take, but mostly this is what we think is going to happen. And I'll let Andrew take the floor from here.
All right, so with the first pick, we've got the Orlando Magic on the board. Last year, selected Jalen Suggs, fifth pick, not too sure, fourth pick. And underwhelming rookie campaign, but I see him bouncing back and should have a pretty solid career. But, with this Magic team, I'm really intrigued by the defensive lineup they got. Jonathan Isaac, if he comes back from injury, Mo Bamba cleaning up the space. Personally, I would go with Paulo here. He's my best player in the draft, but I believe that the Magic are going to take a swing and go pure upside and take Chet.
Wow. Okay. We start off with a bang here. What makes you say Chet has the highest upside?
It's just like the defensive intangibles. He's making reads cross court from the paint, at least from the college tape I've seen. He's intercepting passes. He's coming backside, getting blocks. And then, the playmaking's there. Didn't see much of his mid-range game in college, but he didn't really need to. He was in more of a system. But, he definitely showcased that three-point shot. And, the league's definitely moving to more athletic bigs. And he's got the frame to fill out and become one of those potentially.
I like this pick. I have him as my number one player. I think just how he can get rebounds, go, score in transition. If he gets his skills up, if he puts a little bit of muscle on that frame, I think he could be a real special player in this league.
And I think muscle is definitely the biggest thing he needs.
Big key.
Yeah, built like a piece of spaghetti right now, no offense. But if he puts on some muscle, you saw a guy like Giannis, who's the top of the league. He has completely changed his tone, and it's changed his game completely.
And the league's changed a lot too. You don't really see those big bruisers down low anymore. You've got guys like Ayton and Gobert, but they're getting ran off the court in playoff games. So I think with Chet's athleticism, he can really turn into that unicorn five that will start to take over the NBA soon.
Most definitely. So here I have Oklahoma's pick. Now, I feel Oklahoma has Chet, I think, fits best for their system, and I think they're going to have him number one on their board. So they're going to be definitely disappointed to see him go number one. And I think it's pretty much a toss-up between Banchero and Smith on who they're going to take. I don't think Ivy would fit well with them having already Giddey and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander there. I think that 1-2 punch is something they're going to want to stick with. I think they've proven well for them. You have Shai for another 5 years. Giddey just coming off his rookie year was very solid. I ultimately think they want to go more the athleticism upside of Jabari Smith is very high compared to Banchero. I think is a better shooter, but I think if you've seen a guy like Giannis in something, I think it's easier to develop shooting and coach that to be a little bit better. Then it's very hard to develop athleticism the more you get into your career. It's either you got it or you don't. So I think they end up going with Jabari Smith from Auburn.
Yeah, I think he has a floor of like Brandon Ingram. Just he's a surefire pick.
He's a freak of nature.
There's not a lot of guys who can just go out there and get to their spot and shoot over anybody. And if he can develop that where he's hitting those 12 to 16 footers consistently just over whoever he wants, I mean, that's you're getting your worth at the number 2 pick.
Exactly. If he can hit the deep 2, contested, and just be able to hit open 3s. He doesn't need to be this 3-point maestro. He just needs to, when he's open, hit them, but be able to hit a 2 guarded, and he's going to be able to get his buckets and his points at the rim.
And Oklahoma City is kind of the perfect fit for that because they've got the playmaking to kind of just let him do his own thing. He doesn't have to create for himself, which he really didn't do a lot at Auburn. That's not really one of his strengths, so he can kind of play into his strengths more, probably make more of an impact right away in OKC.
They're going to be a fast break team to watch next year if they get him.
All right, now this third pick, who I would take in this position, it's actually pretty close between Paolo and Ivy. I'm there. I think I would take Ivy, or no, I would take Paolo, and I think they're going to take Paolo. I think just next year he's just a surefire scorer. I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. He's a beast on offense, and I think it fits well with this team. They just shifted their Christian Wood power forward slots right open, one of the top 3 to just slide right in. And I think they're going to be good. Although I do really think they need some defense on their team, and drafting Paolo, I don't think they're going to be very good next year. And I think they'll be like top lottery again. And I think they just need one more good, like small forward or point guard to go with their young core, and they'll be pretty special.
Yeah, I think with Wood being traded, I think he slots in perfectly. And I think what they're going for, because they're probably going to be in the lottery again. So I think he fits better, Paolo, and I also think he's a safer pick. Well, I think Ivy might have a bigger upside than him because Ivy's, I think, ceiling is the highest in this draft, in my opinion. But I think Paolo is a little bit of a safer pick. Both are elite prospects, but I think Paolo is just the safer dude.
Paolo's definitely the most NBA ready guy probably in this draft right now.
Easily.
The thing that really jumps off the page for me is the playmaking. I mean, you got a guy who's 6'10", can run the floor, dribble, bring it up. I think it's just going to unlock Jalen Green even more, take so much pressure off of him from trying to create so much, and kind of take some defensive attention, kind of like you see with like Ant and Cat a little bit, because Cat can get his own shot. It's opened things up for Ant more this year, more driving lanes. And, we know Jalen Green's super explosive.
You're also going to have a guy like Porter there as well. I'm curious to see. I think they trade Gordon, but I'm curious to see what happens with John Wall, just how that dynamic works. Because I think if they can trade him, they will. But that contract's ridiculous. It's got another year left, so I think they're just going to ride it out. Maybe at the deadline, somebody wants that kind of guy. But I think that could definitely be a help towards just having like a veteran, very good veteran facilitator to start off your career when you're not supposed to have a type of guy like that when you're drafted in the top 3. Could be huge for him.
My dream fit is Paolo to Houston, because him and Sengun in that front court together for many years. I mean, the playmaking is ridiculous. Sengun's already a top 8 passing center in the league, if not higher.
Yeah. Andrew's two favorite front court players in the league. You better watch out. You'll find them in a Rockets jersey soon.
The Rockets might be my league pass team next year.
I know, and I know Luis would like that.
Yes. Shout out Luis. Luis would like Luis.
All right, number 4.
All right. So Sacramento Kings are on the clock, infamously taking like 3 point guards the last 3 drafts. Thanks for Tyrese Halliburton. They've got Domantas Sabonis on the team. Sad to see him go. Great pacer, but I don't think the Kings are going to end up right here, but even if they do, I think no matter what, Ivy's going to go number 4. No matter who's picking here, even if it is the Kings, Ivy's shown that he does not want to go to Sacramento, didn't even meet with them. But I just think even if you draft him and trade him, there's too much value there. You see a little bit of a fall off after this first 4. You can't skip on Ivy. The movement he has with the ball. I watched a little bit of the U18 stuff and he just exploded off the court with those guys. And these are the same guys at the top of the draft. Played against like Victor Wembanyama, was yamming. I like Ivy a lot, even though he's a Purdue guy.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for him, obviously, is just be consistent. Like there's some times where he just looks average, or he gets lost on the
Yep.
court where you're like, where is Ivy? And then you turn in 5 minutes later, he's dropping 10 points in 3 minutes, and you're like, oh my God, this guy is amazing. So I think he needs to find that consistent balance and really just be able to be at least consistent amount for the beginning of his career, and then he could start to build on that. But that backcourt with him and Fox, Fox is probably my favorite point guard in the league. I loved him coming out of college. I have love for Fox. So that backcourt is just going to be so dynamic.
I like Ivy a lot, but I don't think Sacramento's going to take this pick. And if they do, I like Keegan Murray. I think he fits pretty damn well with their squad. I think he's NBA ready at 22. But I mean, Ivy's fourth best player in the draft. You got to take him if he's there.
I think it would be a King's move to take. I think Keegan Murray is a fantastic player, but I think this is a 4 player like at the top. I think it's definitely a little bit of a drop off, as you said, Andrew. Not too much, not like significant, but definitely a decent amount. And I think those 4 are looked at like they can be franchise guys, and these other guys could be all-stars maybe, but not to the level of an Ivy. So I feel like if you're not going to take him, you trade the pick. Otherwise, you work something out. Maybe you get Fox or Harrison Barnes, a veteran, to come talk to him. Because I feel like once you get drafted, your opinions can change.
Well said.
All right, BK, you're on the board.
Sharp's got 5.
No, it's me.
Sharp's got 5.
Detroit. So Detroit, they just got rid of Grant. So that opens a hole in the power forward spot. I know they're looking to spend on DeAndre Ayton. So maybe they don't go for a big guy. But they have Marvin Bagley there. So you move him to power forward. I know he plays center a bit as well, but you got Kelly Olynyk there for a bit. I'm not a huge Kelly Olynyk guy, but he fills a void for you right now. I think you're trying to pair somebody with Cade, who can be a kind of a shooter, because Cade is a pretty solid playmaker. So who do I think is the best, a spot up shooter who can lace it from deep, who we just talked about? That's Keegan Murray. I mean, as deeper into the season, the Big Ten and the regular season, the better he got. He has range beyond range beyond range. I think he could just lace it from anywhere on the court. I think he's going to be a very good just pick his spot, pop and shot kind of guy. He's not going to be able to create a lot for himself, but if you just get it to him on his spot, I don't think he's going to miss.
I'm going to be honest, I'm not the biggest Keegan Murray fan. And, I'd probably talk myself into it if the Pacers end up taking him tomorrow night. But I don't know. He kind of disappeared a little bit for me, especially in like the Big Ten tournament games and in the tournament. But
he was hurt. He was injured a bit.
The Big Ten games, he was amazing.
Regular season. Yeah.
Here's what I'll say.
He was a workhorse.
Iowa always disappears in the tournament, like no matter who's on their team. So I don't take that too much into consideration. I mean, yes, but like they just went on a huge Big Ten run. They just not a lot of rest. Won that Big Ten, so you're on a runner's high there. So like coming into the tournament, you obviously have to watch that, but like I don't take too much into it. I think he's the best pure shooter from like with limitless range in this. Like the amount of range he has, I think he's not going to be a 1 on any team that's contending, but he's the type of guy that could be maybe like a 2, maybe more likely a 3. That just if he's hot, he's
like
hot.
A Middleton type.
Middleton,
if you can get him being Middleton, that's
exactly. I think that's his ceiling. I think that's his ceiling, like a Middleton type, maybe not as athletic as him, but just like him on the shooter. You give it to him like in the corner, where he's gonna lace that.
All right, one last thing on Murray. I like him. I think the Pistons, they can go out after Miles Bridges in the offseason, or they can go off after Ayton, which could fill that hole in the front court. They could swing for the fences with Shaedon Sharpe or take Mathurin to go next to Cade, because their other guards are dog shit. Sorry for the monetization, but they suck. Killian Hayes isn't going to do anything. I'll promise you that. But
Really?
yeah, I love Keegan. Hope he'd slide to 6 with this Pacers pick. But right now I'm between Sharp and Matherin, 2 players. Sharp, the upside is so crazy, but then Matherin's that surefire dog. I'm going to go with Matherin here because he's proved to be a winner at Arizona. Great playmaker, 3-and-D guy. I just think he will be a good third piece for like a team down the line. Just has a Victor Oladipo prime upside, and I just think he's a dog on defense, can lock up best player.
He is
Shaden
a
Sharp.
dog.
Shaden Sharp's just too much of a project, I think, for the 6th overall pick. I think he's
Yeah.
8 to 9 range, but just not quite 6.
I think a team like the Pacers, if a team is going to take a shot on him earlier than you would expect, I think it's a team like the Pacers. You're not looking to win now. I know you got Halliburton, but it's going to probably be a couple years until you really start to like contend. Maybe you make the playoffs in a year or two, but until you actually can maybe contend, you want Halliburton to really develop into one of the best point guards in the league. He has the ability to be that kind of guy.
He does.
He's that special. So I don't think you want to rush anything and force your team into a win now. And letting a guy like Shaden Sharp develop with him, that's not a bad idea. But I do like the pick. I mean, when guys give the max effort like to the walls, like giving you 120%
Man after
offense
my
and
own heart.
defense.
Oh yeah.
Those are the players you want on your team. Those are the guys that bring the team together. So the way that he gives that as well with his talent, it's a great pick.
Yeah, I would be ecstatic if Matherin falls to 6 and the Pacers could take him. A lot of the stuff I see about him that really makes him jump off the page to me is his work ethic. I mean, he comes into Arizona as a top recruit, has an underwhelming freshman year. They get a new coach, and everything you hear from this new coach is he just put his nose to the grindstone, worked all summer, wanted to be the best player he could be, came out and just dominated in the clutch. Long Arizona tournament run, great season, first team All-American, improved the 3-point shot, obviously has the athleticism that sticks out to you. And I would be pumped if the Pacers got him at 6.
All right.
All right, we're on to number 7, the Portland Trailblazers. All right, so as we mentioned earlier, obviously the Trailblazers traded for Jeremy Grant today. Adds a little bit of shooting and a more of a second option to Dame post the McCollum and Lillard days. The era in Portland's over. One thing that really intrigues me about Portland right now is Anthony Simons. I don't think they're really looking for another guard to really complement that backcourt, because I think Ant really showed that he's got the potential to be a starter and maybe even a star in this league. So I think they roll with Dame and Ant in the backcourt. And I could honestly see them going. This might be a reach to you guys, but this guy is one of my favorite players in the draft. I'm hearing a lot of rumors about him moving up. He's versatile, can switch 5 positions. He's pretty much if Herb Jones was a playmaker and had a better 3-point shot. And that man is Jeremy Sochan.
Damn it, Andrew. I wanted him for number picks.
I liked Jalen Duran here, but that is definitely a name that has been floated. That's a little bit off the board, but that's not a crazy pick. I wouldn't say that's unheard of, and he'll definitely bring a different dimension to the Blazers, who are they're not gonna take a guy like Sharp now. You're in a win now with Dame.
Yeah, exactly. I think you really look at that team. They just made that trade today. So obviously, they want to capitalize on Dame's window. And you look at a team like the Pelicans with Herb Jones, and he was getting 25, 30 minutes a night in a competitive playoff series as a rookie. And I think Sochan has even more potential to be better right away than Herb Jones even did. And if they can get 25, 30 minutes a night and be a playoff team like they want to be, I think that's a home run pick right there.
Yeah, his defense is off the charts. He's a hustle dude. He could plug into the small forward right away and be a big impact.
All right, now to the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, they're in a weird spot where they're kind of in win now, but they have time. They're not like win now. They're kind of like, we want to contend now. So would they take a guy like Shaden Sharp, who's like, we don't need you to be an impact guy right away. You can develop, and once you become an impact guy, we'll be one of the better teams in the league. That's a question. Do you go with a guy like Jalen Duran, who can be like a 1-2 with Valanciunas, as we've seen, like somebody with the Bucks with a Lopez and a Bobby Portis, that can work pretty well using two different types of centers. Ultimately, though, I think I'm gonna go for the first guy who's from overseas in Dyson Daniels.
Great pick. Love Dyson.
So I think they need a bit more guard play to help with CJ. I think Devontae Graham is solid, but I think you can have Dyson come off the bench to start, and I think he can work his way into the lineup. I don't think there's any pressure on him at all, and I think he can contribute pretty quickly.
He's great on defense. That they have a defensive lineup that will put people in hell with him. Herb Jones, Zion puts a little effort down there. CJ and Brandon Ingram. My goodness, that's a fucking lineup right there. And they're all tall too.
I don't think you see it too often, but you see once in a couple seasons in the league that defense can get you very far. You just saw that with the Celtics. The number one defense, they were absolute clamps on most guys and most teams. And while that didn't get them the championship, I think most teams would take a champion.
They got him a shot. Got
him to 6 games against the Warriors.
I really like Dyson Daniels to the Pelicans. I'm in love with this Pelicans team. Been watching them all year. Got a lot of those dudes on my Dynasty Basketball League. But it's the perfect spot for him because he can sit behind such an experienced guard in CJ McCollum, who's had those experiences, been in the big playoff moments, can kind of show him the ropes, kind of like he did to like Trey Murphy a little bit this year towards the end of the season. That'd be the perfect spot for him. I really like that pick, and if he goes there,
if Zion Williamson figures it out somehow, which
Pelicans are scary, man,
because Zion Williamson is like the most weird guy I think in the NBA, because he can be one of the most dominant players in the league.
He shoots near 70% in the paint when he plays. Like,
he could be a top 10 player in the league, or he could be a complete bust. It's so polarizing with him. It's crazy. I love Zion. I love what he can do.
I think Zion's going to be fine. I think the Pelicans are going to be a top 5 seed in the West next year.
Ooh, hot take.
I could definitely see that. I could see him top 4. All right. Well, I'm on the board with pick 9 with the Spurs. Here's a trend that I think Shaden Sharp will fall to at least 9. I don't see him being picked before this. That 8 to 9 range, maybe I think he might fall lower, but I'm not taking Sharp here. I'm taking Duran. I think there's rumors Spurs really want him. Who they got, like Podol. I don't think he's
good for the game online.
I know he's most popular for a little Wordle basketball game. I just he's a good role player, but they have a lot of good young pieces, and I just don't think Shaden Sharp and Pop's not going to be around too long, and I think Duran's just an impact right away.
I think they need an impact big man. But here's a question. Apparently, there's rumors floating around they could trade DeJounte Murray, but they want a haul. They want like a Drew Holiday type haul. You think he's going to be a Spur to start the year?
I saw some rumors, man. Like John Collins for DeJounte.
I saw they want more, though.
They want more?
They want like a Drew Holiday type haul. They want a lot. And rightfully so. I think DeJounte Murray is one of the most underrated players in the league. He is one of the most underrated.
I would love that for the Bucks.
Oh. All right. I think are you up?
Yeah, so pick 10 right here.
Which will be in possession of the Pacers on draft night, just to let you guys know.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, man.
And we'll take Johnny Davis or Jeremy Sochan happily, as he'll still be there.
So if the Wizards don't end up trading for Malcolm Brogdon, doomsday happens. And Shaden Sharp is still on the board here. I think that's a no-brainer for them. They are not looking to win at all. I mean, Bradley Beal, there's rumors that he doesn't want to be there, wants to get to Boston. I think this is a perfect situation for him to where he's going to get as many shots up as he wants. He can be the full-time ball handler. There's no expectations right away. It's the perfect chance for him to blossom into the player he can be after sitting out a year and not playing in college.
And he could take 2 or 3 years to develop. There's no
Yeah,
rush.
exactly. There's no rush, no pressure. No, it's the perfect spot for him.
Now the Knicks. This is a complicated pick.
This is a crazy pick with everyone
like
on
what
the board.
like who are they gonna trade? Are they gonna trade Randall? Are they gonna what are their expectations? Are they gonna go for a win now? Are they gonna take after a disappointing season kind of a step back and let's take another year to develop our guys really and not focus on winning as much? Maybe get it if we playoffs come, they come, but not so much into the win now. So I don't really know what they're going to do so much, but I think they can use another shooter. And who's a maybe a little bit of a risky shooter, but this guy's got, I think, a lot of range. I think played at the highest level, played for Coach K in his last year. One of the best shooters in the draft, especially where his at the 3-ball game. Injury is definitely a concern. I'm going AJ Griffin.
This is a really good pick. If he falls to 11 at the start of the year, he was projected top 4, top 5 pick. I mean, he's really good. The only thing is if he gets injured, I mean, he only played 2 years of high school. He only played like 75% of the year. It's just an injury risk. And if he doesn't get injured, he's your guy. 49% on threes on the year. That's hard to beat.
Exactly. I think he's one of the top shooters in the draft. And I think the Knicks, they can take a risk like that. You're going to the big city. I think it's gonna feel like, listen, he's gonna get the best. He's gonna have a lot of people rooting for him there. I think that could be a good spot for him.
Yeah, Griffin, in my eyes, is one of those guys where we could be looking 4 years down the line and be like, how did this guy fall to 11?
Exactly.
Injuries do people get so scared of the injuries coming off.
And it's fair, it's warranted, but I mean,
sometimes you got to take the
potential's
risk.
there. He's got a lot of potential, more than some of the guys picked before, like a safer bet like Sochan or Dyson Daniels. But he's going to be a hit or miss, home run or strikeout.
I feel like the Knicks could take a guy like that. I mean, you got your main guy in Barrett. You're not going to go get like a one piece here that's going to be better than Barrett. I don't know what you're doing with Randall, so you might as well just go get a shooter.
All right, for the 12th pick, this is a tough one. I think Johnny Davis is either going to go to whoever loses out on the Brogdon sweepstakes, either New York or Washington. I think he can handle the ball and be a pretty good scorer. But at 12, I mean, the Thunder have enough guards. They have, Giddey, Shea, and Dort. I think Johnny's just like a clone of one of those 3 combined. Their backcourt needs a lot of help. And I think they go Terry Eason. I really like Eason. I think he's super underrated. He's one of the best forwards in this draft, and I think he's going to surprise a lot of people once he gets in the NBA. I was going to go Jeremy Sochan with this pick, but of course Andrew had to take him number 7.
I think they definitely need somebody bigger. I don't think they're going to go with guard, especially. I think he's very similar to Jabari Smith in the role that he would play. So I'm curious to see how that would work. I like Mark Williams here. I think that would be my pick.
Yeah.
If they go Jabari, they would have went Mark Williams with this one, but I think they're taking Chet. So I mean, we'll see. But if they go Jabari, you take Mark Williams, which
I don't really have a lot of confidence that the Thunder are going to make that pick. I think that's going to end up in some sort of trade. I've been seeing stuff where they're wanting to move up for Ivy. Maybe they want to move back, acquire more first-round picks next year.
Imagine they get somebody like Chet and Ivy.
I think that's
Gross.
Or Jabari and Ivy.
Right now.
I mean, then you got the two of the top four guys in this draft who we said it's a 4 horse race, and you got Shea as well to lead your team.
I
That's
could
a
see
good
them
future.
I could see them doing that, or even just acquiring more picks in the chest to try to make that run for Victor next year. That's all OKC cares about is Victor Wembanyama. They don't care about
Unless
next
for
year.
Wembanyama.
Yeah. All right, so I'm on the board right here with the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah.
Okay, so at 13 right here, Hornets coming off a disappointing year, not gonna lie. Probably gonna lose Miles Bridges. LaMelo had a pretty good year. Who was Book Knight was their pick last year? I didn't really
Barely
hear much
played at
about him
all.
at all last year. I think based off this board right here, I could either see them going Davis or Zhang. Personally, I would say the upside is there more with Zhang. Davis, you kind of know what you're getting. His floor is pretty high, but his ceiling could also be pretty high. I think he could be more of a Donovan Mitchell type in this league, a little less explosive, but I think that's who I'm going to go with here is Johnny Davis. If you can get Melo that consistent backcourt mate, develop that chemistry together, I think that's a foundation for a playoff team for the years to come.
I'm also curious
if they can get rid of Terry Rozier and they get this pick, they got a lot to work with.
I'm curious to see, do they keep Harrell? Because if they don't, that there's a gaping hole at center then.
Yeah. I think right there, they don't really go center because they've got pick 15 and the Cavs sandwiched in between them at 14. They've got so many big men that they're not thinking about taking a center.
No.
So I think they can gamble more with this pick and just know that Mark Williams is going to fall to them. Mark Williams or Duran is going to fall to them at 15.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really see the Cavs taking a big man.
No.
I think the Cavs. I think Johnny Davis would be a perfect fit for Cleveland, and I think they're a little annoyed to see him taking one pick before. But I think they're looking for a kind of like a stretch three, a kind of a guy who could shoot from the 3 spot, who can give them that depth. And I think they go Ousmane Dang. I don't really. I think he's just the best fit on the board. I don't think there's really a lot. I don't think they want to go guard here with Garland and LeVert, and center is just not an option really for them. So I think that's where that leaves them. Although they could go Ochai. I swear there's always like a couple names that you are terrible at pronouncing.
Ochai Agbaji?
Yes, Ochai Agbaji. He is definitely an option here, and I really like him, especially after making that championship run. He could definitely be in play here.
I only saw him in one game, and that's a championship, and he kind of got lost in that championship game. I didn't really see much out of him. I mean, I have nothing else to go off on him, but
if Ousmane Dieng falls to 14 to the Cavs here, I think that's their wet dream. GM is just losing it right now. He's hit the lottery. Ousmane Dieng has some of the best upside in this whole draft. There's not really a lot about him. You've got the foreign film, but I think he's really got the potential to shine.
I could see him going 12. OKC loves foreign players, those long foreign players.
I even think he could slide up to 9 with the Spurs.
All right, sorry for that. I had to do a little editing for you there, but we're back here with the 15th pick.
15th pick. All right. So after the Cavs left our boy Mark Williams on the board with that last pick, I think this is the easy one. Charlotte, if they don't trade for Turner, they're going to need a center. You can't just glue a center to LaMelo Ball. You need to take a young guy, develop them, and they'll be a good piece for them in the future to go along with their nice young core.
What's the over/under on oops between LaMelo and him next season?
51 million.
Bridges.
Oh my God! The announcer that Charlotte announcer is gonna go ridiculous.
Side note: went to high school with a kid named Mark Williams. He's not a 7-foot center at Duke though.
How many oops has he done?
0. Mark
What I-
Williams, if you watch this, shout out working at Men's Warehouse.
Shout out Mark Williams.
Shout out Mark Williams.
what I would kill to be 7 foot. You just give me like 6'2", even like shake it.
Even if you got up to like 5'11", Sharf, you'd be.
Oh my God! What I would do? My dream height growing up was 5'10".
A what if scenario that will. It's another video for another day.
That's for another podcast.
We gotta get Disney to produce a what if.
All right. So am I on the board here?
Yes.
All right. So we've got the Atlanta Hawks and a lot of trade rumors right now. Could be moving John Collins. Very disappointing season from the Hawks. Season after making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, they finally get a full season with Nate McMillan. What us Pacers fans have been seeing, first round exits.
I think it was gonna be tough. It was gonna be tough to follow that up, though.
Yeah, I don't really see them doing much besides the first round next year, no matter what they do here. So I think they're not really looking for a guy who's going to help right away. So I think that kind of takes Abaji off the board. I think you go for more of an upside pick here. And if Branham's still on the board, I think that's a good fit. Athletic guy, nice, efficient field goal shooting right there. Watched him play last year. Trey Galloway locked him up, but gonna be a first round pick.
Oh, most definitely. I like that fit there. I definitely like if they want to go more win now, which they definitely could, because they've done it before last year. So they definitely could be like, hey, let's try to contend. I think then that brings I can't pronounce his name to save my life. Abaji, thank you.
Yeah.
Like my kryptonite, Abaji. I think that brings him into conversation if they want to hey, we can still compete, but I like the pick there. I think I think they have to know, like, they're not one of the upper echelon teams in the East.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You bring up the Houston Rockets. They took Paolo Banchero with the 3rd overall pick. They have the 22nd or 26th pick, coming up later in the first round if they decide to keep that. And they still have a lot of needs. Now, I don't know how long they keep John Wall here. And I think taking somebody who doesn't have to start and could just learn from John Wall. And then if he's traded or if he's gone, he will take over the reins, and you give him time. So you're going to get a guy to kind of develop under John Wall and then kind of take the reins, kind of like what some NFL teams do with QBs, kind of take the reins over, learn how to run. That's why I like Ty Washington Jr. here.
I like that pick. Ty has a lot of upside. You see with a lot of Kentucky players where they don't really get to shine as much in college because they play on such a stacked team with so many recruits, but they kind of blossom in the league a little bit. You see that with Quickly. You see that with
Hero.
Devin Booker, obviously, even Hero. I think he definitely could fit that stereotype, and I like the way he plays. Very aggressive and kind of fearless driver, and that fits alongside with Jalen Williams, and that could be a backcourt of the future.
Definitely.
Could be a great 6-man for Floor. Floor is a really good 6-man point guard.
Yeah, exactly, and that's how he'll start. Because again, you have John Wall there, you might as well play him and help him develop Banchero, and then whether you ship him out or you're not going to resign him.
No.
So.
All right, for my 18th and last pick of the evening, this is a no-brainer for our boy John's Bulls. Shout out, John. This is just a no-brainer. Look at their current roster. Point guard, small forward, center, point guard, small forward. What do they not have? They don't have a great power forward. And you know who could fit that slot is EJ Liddell. EJ Liddell, great story. Went to the draft combine last year. They told him, EJ, you're not good enough. You're not good enough on perimeter defense, and you're not good enough on three-point shooting. What did he do? He went back to Ohio State. He balled out. He balled out in three-point shooting and perimeter defense. He showed he could guard the wing. He's amazing in the post. Scored, was the heartbeat of that offense at Ohio State, and they look special for a minute there. and he didn't really get that much help. But I think he could go in, help the Bulls, be that extra piece they need to help our boy John get them a ring.
I think he definitely struggled once in a while being the guy at Ohio State. I mean,
He's
he
not
was
going to be the guy on the Bulls,
exact
though. That's what they got 4 other people for. That's
exactly. I think like he wasn't always there. Obviously, he had his standout games, and there are reasons he's a first round pick. But once in a while, he would fade away, and I think it was hard for him to be every single night the go-to guy. And now he won't have to be that. He just has to show up, hit a couple shots, and I think he'll be able to do that and bring his intensity. So I like that fit a lot with the Bulls.
If he can keep that 37% 3-point percentage that he had this year at college, which was kind of an outlier, if he can hover anywhere around that, even like a 33%, this is a win for the Bulls. They need wing help. They need wing depth. Seems like Patrick Williams pretty much always hurt. I like Patrick Williams, though. I think he's a good player. I think that's all you're looking for at this point of the draft is somebody who can be a role player, somebody who can play for you every day. If you can find that at this point in the draft, you're hitting a home run.
I think a role player, and the other big word is consistent. Guy, you know what you're going to get every day in and day out. Not a guy that's maybe could drop 20 every 10 games, but is going to drop 5 the rest of the games, because then you don't really get a rhythm. You want somebody who can just, hey, I know I'm going to get 8 points from you and hard defense every single night.
Definitely. All right, so we're at 19.
2 more picks left.
Am I on the board here?
Yes, you are.
All right.
I know. I think it's pretty obvious who should go here, but
you might be surprised. All right, so we've got the Minnesota Timberwolves. Great finish to the season. Really showed up in that play-in. Had a nice series against the Memphis Grizzlies. Showed a lot of grit. Potential budding star. Not even potential. He is a budding star. And Anthony Edwards, love him. Cat had a pretty good year. Showed he could be a decent number 2. I think right now they're kind of looking for a win now guy. Somebody who can make an instant impact. And I think you're going to find that in Ochai Agbaji.
I think if he's on the board, he is a must pick for.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know. I don't see him slipping this far, but if he does, that's a home run.
It fits a position of need. Taurean Prince is going to be a free agent. He can slot right into there. You kind of want that kind of bigger small forward as you have like as Russell and Edwards at the point guards, and you have Cat. You really need to solidify that those forwards, and I think he just comes in and could be a reliable kind of guy there at the 3.
I mean, this guy, he can guard multiple positions. Last year, shot over 40% from 3 on over 200 attempts. And that's definitely the consistency word we were talking about looking for at this point of the draft. And they definitely need some wing depth. And if they can get that kind of help, I think that puts them on the track that the upward trajectory that they're heading on right now.
Definitely. He also has the winning mentality of just winning a national championship on the older side. And he can also rebound the ball a bit, averaged 5 rebounds a game. So that it gives him another dimension on where to help. All right. So the last pick, Popovich's San Antonio Spurs took Jalen Duran with the 9th pick. They got 2 more picks technically after this in the first round. We'll see if they keep them all. But again, I don't know if they keep DeJounte Murray. So with that in mind, if they don't keep DeJounte Murray, I think the best choice is to go Jalen Williams or Kennedy Chandler. I think those are your 2 guys. If they keep him, then there is a bunch of different ways they can go. And I'm gonna take let's say they do keep him, because right now
Jaden Hardy's still on the board. Jaden Hardy is a big riser as well. They say he's playing pretty good.
Yes, I'm gonna take a bit of a flyer here because we haven't seen that many Europeans go. I'm gonna take
where you're going.
Nikola Jovic.
Yep. Whew. I love it.
An offensive superstar.
Not to be confused with 2-time MVP and Luka Doncic superstar Nikola Jokic.
Exactly. It could be, it's going to get confusing a little bit, but I think he fits very well with what they're trying to do if they keep Murray, fills a position of need. And Pop loves his Europeans.
You know,
He
as the
loves them.
Spurs have shown time and time again, their player development is just top of the league. I mean, you've got Kawhi, you've got Manu, Tony Parker, guys like Danny Green, that they've really
Patty
elevated once they've
Mills.
gotten to the next level. And I think if you can put Jovic in that situation and he can grow as a dribbler, playmaker, make better decisions in the passing game, he could find his way into an NBA lineup every day. And that's what you're looking for at this point in the draft.
Yeah, especially with the Spurs they're just looking for impact guys who can help them in the future. They're not looking for win now.
Definitely.
So that our top 20 mock draft here on Sharp Sports Media. Draft is tomorrow. Definitely very excited. I know you guys are looking forward to it as Pacers
Definitely.
fans. Let us know what you guys thought of the mock draft in the comments. Twitter, you can let me know what you think at
Who won? Send in
1216.
the comments who won.
Who do you think?
Yeah, let us know.
Who's
Let
the
us
best
know.
GM? Who was the best GM? Thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you on the other side.